broadcasting for a worldwide audience.
On the menu today, duck soup, war, and peas.
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, y'all. Look out. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Listen to me. To me. It ain't nothing but a heartbreaker. I got one friend, that's the Undertaker. And shattered many a young man's dreams. Made him disabled, bitter and mean. Life is much too short and precious to spend fighting wars each day. War can't give life, it can only take it away. Oh, war! Listen to me. It ain't nothing but a heartbreaker. Friend only to the Undertaker. Please love and understand and tell me, is there no place for them today? They say we must fight to keep our freedom, but Lord knows there's got to be a better way. Oh, wow.
Well, is it me? Or can I hear somebody whistling? Ah, the bridge over the River Kwai. And as the Jamaicans noticed, there were also the guns of Navarone. Well, the thing about war, if you're not careful with it, it can get downright nasty.
Let's keep the lights out for this one, all right? If I do one, baby, 1 in 5, no one here gets out alive now. You get yours, mama, I'll get mine. Gonna make it, baby, if we try, yeah. The old get old and the young get stronger. May take a week and it may take longer. They got the guns, but we got the numbers. Gonna win, yeah, we're taking over. Come on. gonna make it, baby, in our prime. Get together one more time. Get together one more time. Get together one more time. Get together. Get together one more time. 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 Get together, gotcha. Get together, gotcha. Get together, gotcha. Come on, honey, you get along home. I'll be there in just a little while. You see, I gotta go out in this car with these people and get fucked up. Get together one more time. Get together one more time. Get together one more time. Get together just one more time.
I mean, you think about dogfights, and you think, well, that's not a war. But it is if it's in the air. And in the earliest days of aviation, almost one of the first uses of airplanes is, let's have a fight.
After the turn of the century, in the clear blue skies over Germany, came a roaring and a thundering man I never heard, like the screaming sound of a big warbird. Up in the sky, a man in a plane, Baron von Richthofen was his name. 80 men tried, and 80 men died. Now they're buried together on the countryside. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or more. The bloody red baron was running up the score. 80 men died trying to end that spree of the bloody red baron of Germany. In the nick of time, a hero arose, a funny-looking dog with a big black nose. He flew into the sky to seek revenge, but the baron shot him down.
Curses spoil the game.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or more.
Yeah, I killed, at least 1,000 Germans before I was 10. Because that's what you did when you were a kid in the late 50s, early 60s. We'd won the war, inverted commas, and it was everywhere. It was on the telly, it was on films, even as you were hearing now, popular songs celebrating the glories of the Second World War, which were minimal. And as we'll discuss later, basically the Russians won the thing. Anyway, that's all to come in the exciting future. But sky pilots, I always thought a sky pilot was like, a vicar. Give you that sort of overhead viewpoint about spirituality and ethical and moral behavior. Anyway, apparently not, according to Eric Burden.
He blesses the boys as they stand in line. The smell of gun grease and their bayonets they shine. He's there to help them all that he can. To make them feel wanted, he's a good holy man. The young soldiers tells them it's all right. He knows of their fear in the forthcoming fight. Soon there'll be blood and many will die. Mothers and fathers back home they will cry. Sky pilots, sky. With a smile, the order is given, they move down the line, but he's still behind and he'll meditate, but it won't stop the bleeding or ease the hate. As the young men move out into the battle zone, he feels good, with God you're never alone. He feels so tired and he lays on his bed. Hopes the men will find courage in the words that he said. Sky pilots, sky pilots, how high can you fly? You'll never reach the sky.
Anyway, we'll leave those bagpipes wailing merrily away, because really that's just Scottish war. Nobody else in the world uses bagpipes for war. And the Irish as well. I've just been reminded by my producer Ben that the Irish also use bagpipes. And I can kind of see the point. Personally, I loathe bagpipes, but if it was a case of they're playing bagpipes behind me and the enemy's in front, I think I'd keep marching forward. Anyway, in other matters, in 1957, the folk singer Pete Seeger founded the Folk Singers Against War Committee, and they thought that if they recruited all of the best folk singers in the world to write songs against war, they would stop it. Well, it didn't happen, but they made some lovely tracks.
It's called Masters of War. Come, you masters of war, you that build the big guns, you that build the death planes, you that build all the bombs, you that hide behind walls, you that hide behind discs. I just want you to know I can see through your masks. You that never done nothing but build to destroy. You play with my world like it's your little toy. You put a gun in my hand and you hide from my eyes, and you turn and run farther when the fast bullets fly. Like Judas of old, you lie and deceive, where a war can be won. You want me to believe, but I see through your eyes and I see through your brain, like I see through the water that runs down my drain. You fasten all the triggers, all the others to fire. Then you sit back and watch when the death count gets higher. You hide in your mansion while the young people's blood flows out of their bodies and is buried in the mud. You've thrown the worst fear can ever be hurled, fear to bring children into the world, oh, threatening my baby, unborn and unnamed. You ain't worth the blood that runs in your veins. How much do I know to talk out of turn? You might say that I'm young, you might say I'm unlearned, but there's one thing I know, though I'm younger than you, that even Jesus would never forgive what you do. Let me ask you one question. Is your money that good? Will it buy you forgiveness? Do you think that it could? I think you will find when your death takes its toll, all the money you made don't ever buy back your soul. and I hope that you die. And your death will come soon. I follow your casket by the pale afternoon, and I watch while you're lowered down to your deathbed, and I stand over your grave till I'm sure that you're dead.
Yeah, dead. Stand over your grave till I'm sure that you're dead. Anyway, that was Bob Dylan, part of the International League of Folk Singers Against War. And he had a little pal, a sort of British, Donovan developed into really an accomplished singer-songwriter. But in the early days, he was considered a mini Bob Dylan with his little cap, and also Scottish, but never used bagpipes to my knowledge. And Donovan had a little adjustment thing, that neck brace where you've got a harmonica, and he had a little kazoo on it. He used to play a little kazoo. And we all thought he was a bit cute, Donovan. Anyway, he also, in the early days, was part of the League Against War, and he did his best. Here's the song Universal Soldier.
He's 5'2" and he's 6'4". He fights with missiles and with spears. He's all of 31 and he's only 17. He's been a soldier for 1,000 years. He's a Catholic, a Hindu, an atheist, a Jain, a Buddhist and a Baptist and a Jew. And he knows he shouldn't kill, and he knows he always will. Kill you for me, my friend, and me for you. And he's fighting for Canada, he's fighting for France, he's fighting for the USA. And he's fighting for the Russians, and he's fighting for Japan. And he thinks we'll put an end to war this way. And he's fighting for democracy, he's fighting for the Reds. He says it's for the peace of all. He's the one who must decide who's to live and who's to die. And he never sees the writing on the wall. But without him, how would Hitler have condemned him at Laval? Without him, Caesar would have stood alone. He's the one who gives his body as a weapon of the war. And without him, all this killing can't go on. He's the universal soldier, and he really is to blame. His orders come from far away no more. They come from here and there, and you and me. And brothers, can't you see? This is not the way we put the end to war.
There he was, little Donovan, is smashing. But there's all kinds of war. I mean, you know, nowadays you've got asymmetrical war. What's asymmetrical war, you might ask? Well, asymmetrical is war where you're not about taking territory. It's not about taking territory. It's about, used to be like, I want that piece of land. This country wants that piece of land from another country. Let's go and give them a hammering and get that piece of land and own it. Well, you can't do it anymore. You take it from them and then they get insurgent and they get Vietnam or they get Afghan or they get ISIS and they just pick at you and you get it back. So now you've got asymmetrical war, which is like you just push a bit and you then come back a little bit and then you see how you are. That's how the Russians are in the Ukraine as we speak. But going back in time to 1914-18, when you really get, you know, that's modern war. That's when you get machinery and things. Honestly, bloody awful. And then, of course, there's always the madness of Vietnam.
Friend fighting in Vietnam, and this is what he had to say. Tell all my friends that I will be coming home soon. My time will be up sometime in June. Don't forget, he said, to tell my sweet Mary, her golden lips as sweet as cherry. And it came from Vietnam, 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 Vietnam. It was just the next day his mother got a telegram. It was addressed from Vietnam. Now Mistress Brown, she lives in the USA. And this is what she wrote and said. Don't be alarmed, she told me, the telegram said. But Mistress Brown, your son is dead. And it came from Vietnam, 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 Vietnam. Somebody please stop that war now. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vietnam, 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 Vietnam.
Yes, well, that's Mr. Jimmy Cliff's version coming up there, but we'll address that at another point in time, because you can't listen to 9 minutes of the song Vietnam, however good Madness and Jimmy Cliff are. There are other battles. The French, sorry, I'm always coming down. It seems like I've got a thing against the French. I mean, I'm always being slightly rude to them on this show. But honestly, I can't. I mean, I can't go with Homer Simpson's cheese-eating surrender monkeys. That's just too far. But I will say this, when it comes to war and international politics, them Frenchies have played their fair fair share. And here's the Battle of Algiers by Ennio Morricone.
They think we're going to war. 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 They got guns, we got guns, all got children got guns. We're gonna walk all over the battlefield, all got children got guns. Oh, don't you cry for me, 'cause I'm coming around the mountain with a banjo on my knee. Oh, Fredonia, oh, don't you cry for me, 'cause I'm coming around the mountain with a banjo on my
Well, I'm with the Marx Brothers on all of this, and where there's war, there must be peace.
We gotta have peace to keep the world alive and war to cease. We gotta have joy to in our hearts with strength we can't destroy. People hear us through our voice. The world knows there's no choice. We're making save the children, the little ones who just don't understand. Give them a chance to breathe their young and help purify the land. People hear us through our voice. The world knows there's no choice. And the people in our neighborhood, they would if they only could meet and shake the other's hand, work together for the good of the land. Give us all an equal chance. It could be such a sweet romance. And the soldiers who are dead and gone, if only we could bring back one, he'd say we gotta have peace to keep the world alive and war to cease. We gotta have joy to in our hearts with strength we can't destroy. People hear us through our voice. The world knows there's no choice. And the people in our neighborhood, they would if they only could meet and shake the other's hand, work together for the good of the land. Give us all an equal chance. It could be such a sweet romance. And the soldiers who are dead and gone, if only we could bring back one, he'd say we gotta have peace. We gotta have peace. Let the world know it. Peace, peace, peace. We gotta have peace. People hear us through our voice. The world knows there's no choice. Save the children. Save the children. Save the children. And the people in our neighborhood, they would if they only could meet and shake the other's hand, work together for the good of the land. Give us all an equal chance. It could be such a sweet romance. And the soldiers who are dead and gone, if only we could bring back one, he'd say we gotta have peace. No, we gotta have peace. Let the people sing it. Peace, peace, peace. We gotta have peace. I say peace, peace, peace. We gotta have peace. Peace, peace, peace. We gotta have peace.
Well, this has been War and Peas, Part 1. I've been King Mob. You've been the audience, whoever you are, in your own wonderful way, in your own wonderful space. We'll be back next week with more war, because I'm finding this curiously satisfying. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, when it comes to World War II, I mean, we lived off it for years, and we were brave. This is Britain I'm talking about, and we did stick out when on our own. And then the Yanks came in at the end and took all the glory. But actually, it was the Russians that took the hit.
They crossed over the border the hour before dawn, moving in lines through the day. Most of our planes were destroyed on the ground where they lay. Waiting for orders we held in the wood. Word from the front never came. By evening the sound of the gunfire was miles away. Softly we moved through the shadow, slip away through the trees, crossing their lines in the mists and the fields, on our hands and our knees. I know that I ever was able to see silhouetting the smoke on the breeze. All summer they drove us back through the Ukraine. Smolensk and Vyazma soon fell. By autumn we stood with our backs to the town of Orel. Closer and closer to Moscow they come, riding the wind like a bell. General Guderian stands at the crest of the hill. Winter brought with her the rains, oceans of mud filled the roads, gluing the tracks of their tanks to the ground, while the sky filled with snow. I know that I ever was able to see the fire in the air, glowing red, silhouetting the snow on the breeze. In the footsteps of Napoleon, the shadow figures stagger through the winter, falling back before the gates of Moscow, standing in the wings like an avenger. And far away behind their lines, the partisans are stirring in the forest, coming unexpectedly upon their outposts, growing like a promise. You'll never know which way to turn, which way to look, you'll never see us. As we're stealing through the blackness of the night, you'll never know, you'll never hear us. And the evening sings in a voice of amber, the dawn is surely coming. The morning road leads to Stalingrad, and the sky is softly humming. Two broken tigers on fire in the night flicker their souls to the wind. We're waiting the lines for the final approach to begin. It's been almost 4 years that I've carried a gun. At home it'll almost be spring. The flames of the tigers are lighting the road to Berlin. Quickly we move through the ruins that bow to the ground. The old men and children they send out to face us, they can't slow us down. And now that I ever was able to see, the eyes of the city are opening now. It's the end of the dream. I'm coming home, now you can taste it in the wind, the war is over. And I listen to the clicking of the train wheels as we roll across the border. And now they ask me at the time that I was caught behind their lines and taken prisoner. They only held me for a day, a lucky break I say. They turn and listen closer. I'll never know why I was taken from the line and all the others to board a special train and journey deep into the heart of Holy Russia. And it's cold and damp in the transit camp, and the air is still and sullen, and the pale sun of October whispers the snow will soon be coming. And I wonder when I'll be home again, and the morning answers never, and the evening sighs and the steely Russian skies go on forever.
Radio Lewes. Local community webcasting.